Hello, my name's Gordon. This is my wife Dorothy. Sorry we couldn't be with you today, but we felt that we needed to put together somehow our experiences regarding deafness and dementia, which have taken hold of me, supposedly, during the last 2-3 years. Tinnitus first became noticeable in my late teens, early 20s. But it wasn't until I was about 58, 59 that it became obvious I was losing my hearing, I was being told more often that the TV or the radio was on too loud, and I was asking people more and more to repeat themselves. I was fitted with my first NHS hearing aids, which were still analogue at that time, in 1998. And I've worn them ever since, every day, constantly, and looked after them. Now they're all digital, slightly different. Memory problems, on the other hand, probably started round about 65. It was just around retirement age, and in 2004 that I noticed I was finding it difficult to remember names or pick out the right words. It was a slow process, but it became serious enough in my mind to approach the GP in about 2013. The GP referred me to the memory clinic, and following a brain scan, I saw a specialist who, after a short cognitive test, told me I had Alzheimer's, albeit at an early stage. When I asked for a general prognosis, his recommendation was to enjoy the next 2 years, spend the kids' inheritance, and get your legal affairs sorted out. Not very encouraging, but there it was.
Whatever you may think yourself and question, when you hear it from a professional and there's been a scan and you think it is a blow, hearing it from somebody else is quite devastating, really. Our family situation, there is some complication with. We've both been previously widowed, actually, and there's some difficulties, particularly in Gordon's family. It's a problem with mine, so we felt we really had to put affairs in order, get complicated wills sorted out, and power of attorneys, both for health and finances, and financial affairs, which is very time consuming. So your 2 years is actually blooming away, and we kept looking thinking, how much longer have we got? Yes. So we spent a lot of time, money and effort putting things in order, particularly for me, because I was the one that had to do it all, this diagnosis, and his hearing problems, because he really struggles. He's struggled with his hearing for some time.
In those 2 years since the diagnosis, we've had a lot of holidays. We've had some expensive holidays. Australia, New Zealand, South America, Russia. Really lovely holidays, but it has been a struggle, a serious struggle to keep the black dog at bay.
Had things not transpired as they have done, we would still be living with the diagnosis and wondering how long have we got to do things, and saying, well, we'll have to do anything we want to do really now. We try to squeeze things in, and then we've got small grandchildren at the moment, and you're wanting to see them, and then you're thinking, I wonder how long I've got before. It all impacts on everything, yes, and perhaps we haven't needed to have packed as much in as we have done, and we could have given the grandchildren a bit more time, because it's trying to get a balance. We want to see them and we want to support the family, but equally we've got to live our own lives as well, and it's really been quite difficult, actually. wasn't it? Well, it was 2015 when I think it was after we'd been on holiday. I said I think it'd be a good idea if we came back to DSN because he was really struggling with the television. Headphones on and a cable going across the room, and then he couldn't hear anything I said. So we came back to DSN, and I noticed the leaflet on the desk, on the reception desk, for this research, deafness and dementia. I went, oh, what's this? This would be good. So I'm lucky that Gordon sort of will comply with these things. He acknowledges he's got problems, and he's prepared to deal with them and come to places like this, and the GP and audiology. I mean, it's in his interest, but it's also in mine and everybody else's. So we picked this up, and that's how you contacted Jenna, and that's how we're here today, really, because we came, didn't we?
Yes.
You did the took part in the
agreed to take part. Yeah, and we took that time in Sheffield, didn't we?
Yes, but that was because we saw Jenna here first, and then she queried the dementia bit because she asked if we didn't say anything.
From this, you went to Sheffield.
Yeah, she offered. You went back to Professor Venerai, and she offered us to go up and have a full assessment.
And how did you feel about this at the time?
At the time, it was amazing. It was quite tiring. We spent two separate days there. Well, the first day was taken up. A lot of the time was taken up with a scan. An hour and a half under that scanner is quite tiring in itself.
It would be just on your head.
Yes.
But then coupled with that and some psychometric tests, and then another visit which took almost all day, psychometric and
psychologist.
Well,
yeah, I was doing questionnaires.
Yeah.
It was very intense. Oh yes, that helped. I think
because you sat there and you do something and you can focus.
I think that was because, as you say, focus, and that's connected with the hearing, because the hearing loss does reduce your ability to concentrate, particularly when you've got extraneous noises around, and your brain is trying to sort out between the extraneous and the important bits. It's very difficult to do through hearing aids. Finally, we got a report from Dr. Venery,
Professor Venery,
and they were saying that the results weren't consistent with Alzheimer's. They indicated normal cognitive performance, and any variation related to minor vascular changes, and so it sounds like normal aging process. Yeah, it's fair to say that deafness has a much more disruptive effect on your life, rather than a thought of impending dementia. Because that's what it was with me, it was impending. It was said that my dementia was at a very early stage. So I had sort of 2 years to look forward to this developing. The hearing loss was already there. The Alzheimer's it's been just a threat which hasn't materialised, whereas the deafness is there permanently. And it has been for a long time. It excludes you, it leaves you out of touch, it makes you lose the ability to concentrate on conversations, causes you to doubt yourself, lose your confidence, all symptoms which could also be associated with Alzheimer's. So where do you stand with it? Which is which? And the conviction in my mind of in the last 2 years has got stronger and stronger that yes, Alzheimer's is there. But then at the back of your mind you think, well, why am I still scoring 29 out of 30 every 6 months that I go back to the clinic? And there's no change, and I see people around me who've had it for 2 years and are very,
Considering
very,
to do
very,
it.
very hard to hold a conversation with.
Yes. It was almost as difficult as when we got the diagnosis.
Yeah.
You felt numb because we've been living with this, we've been coming to terms with it, or trying to, and somebody said, "You've not got it." So we should be jumping for joy.
It was relief.
It was relief, yes, yes,
Yes.
yeah.
Angry that I said we wasted 2 precious years.
Worrying.
Yes, yeah.
And waiting for the curtain to fall.
It takes us a long time to get things in order because you've also got DVLA to notify, car insurance, all those aspects. I'm not quite sure where we go from now, but we'll deal with that. We've just be coming to terms with the outcome of this research and the look of our time into our visit to pick up this leaflet. I can't believe how lucky we've been, and somebody up there must put us on track, because then we've met Jenna, and through that we've been up to Sheffield, and we're so thankful to Professor Venerai and her team. We can now look positively at our future, hopefully, and it's our silver wedding this year, dear, isn't it? So
Congratulations.
we can have a good holiday.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
So thank you to everyone
Congratulations.
involved for putting our lives back on track. We will remember it.
Oh, thank you very much.